Oh, who said that?
It's a I
Who
don't
said
know.
that?
It's a news
It's like
reporter.
a news reporter. Yeah.
Mm,
Mm. What the fuck is this? Yeah.
oh God, that's loud. There we go. Some some
Maybe pop up chat.
cafe music in the background. It's a bit too loud. There we go.
The camera. What did it moved a bit? Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's
Maybe
start
pop out.
10 10 10 10 10
Maybe pop
10
out
10 10.
chat.
Podcast.
Oh shit. Nope. Don't do this. First
Channel.
pog. First.
First. Yeah, I think you are first. Carl!
Why don't you invite your brother over for the podcast?
Oh, fuck that,
He
dude.
sounds like he has interesting stuff to say.
Interesting is like the.
it
Interesting is like the, no, it's an understatement, dude.
like sometimes we just hear them in the background and then there's like debates going on behind. Oh damn, this guy's pretty
Hello,
based.
kuya! Hello!
Hi tita.
Ano yan? Nagawi ka, ano yan? Nagawi ka pagkain? Hindi. Hindi lang, nag-order kami. Hindi ka nag-uwi? Hindi. Bumili ka ng rat trap. Hindi naman kami pumunta ng grocery. May daga dito eh. Okay na yun. Ayun sila lang ng tissue mo kagabi oh. Yung silip. Tinignan mo kanina, paano mo nalaman? Daga ka rin. Ha? Let's start for a bit. There's... Hindi mo rat-trap mo rin. Magtaas kasi. Hindi niya makakit yun. Rat-trap talaga dapat. Wala mo sinasabi, doon ka na. Talagang halatang puyat nung ano na niya eh.
How does it feel like having a brother?
Taga pa talaga nakita mo kasi.
Suck?
Fucking sucks, dude.
Ipis ang nakita mo. Sobrang wet mo na.
I remember my parents asked me if I wanted a brother or
What did you say?
sister.
You should have said
I said,
no.
nah, bruh. Invest all that money to me.
It's a bad fucking idea. They'll never
Nah,
financially recover from that, bro.
Exactly.
Carl's yeah, dude. I should make an emote for that actually.
Screaming in the background.
Like what? Am I gonna eat on stream? Should I eat on stream?
I mean, we were supposed to do Pancit Canton, but I don't have any right now. Not even
Yeah.
mukbang.
Why don't you have food?
I'm trying to tone down the snacks, especially the carbs.
Mm-hmm.
Dekiru kana?
Okay. I'll get food. Para
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
I'm hungry.
Among
Mukbang? I'll make this a mukbang podcast. Kasi hindi pa nag-grocery, hindi pa daw payday. What? I don't get it. Sorry, I don't get it. I'm too confused. BRB.
All right, chat. It's just you and me. I have nothing to say. Zep's not here with us because he's Ah no, that might see this in the in the VOD.
Kumain ka na, mami. Sige lang. Pero kumain ka na. Oo. Ano? Sino kayo doon? Chit-chat. Chit-chat. Kapag ka na nakinig ka sa conversation din namin kanina rin gabi. Mawawag ka namin. Kasi naiinis sila. Di ba naiinis? Para namang usap yan. Kasi ano, ganun na. Yun. May feeling lang sila na they're better than everyone else. Exactly. Okay. Okay lang. Parang pagkawa din eh. Ganun sila. Sabi ko. Ibigay mo hilig. Doon sila pagkain ng mga gulo. Reaction ko lang ang pwede mong i-take. The way they act, that's the best.
Nangyari.
Ito ganun sila, hindi ganun sila. Gagawin mo.
Yeah.
Alam ko yung mga bagay na
Alright, let's go. Let's fucking do this, bro.
na hindi ko makuha.
Are you back?
May delay nga pa. No, there's no delay. Hello, we're
Yeah.
back. I'm back at least. Let's go, guys.
All right. What?
Alright.
So starting off, what food are you eating?
I'm eating chicken tenders
Okay, fuck off, man.
from
I don't show it.
Frankie's, bro. Look at
Fuck
that.
you.
Look at that buffalo, and
God
then you got
damn.
that cream cheese, bro.
Why don't you put some
Oh.
sriracha on it, dude?
Sriracha. I mean, it's spicy enough already.
All right. I mean, yeah, sure.
Alright, go ahead. Introduce us to your topic.
Yummers. Yeah. All right. So yeah, today's topic, since I'm the host. Wait, I'm missing two stream. Okay. All right. So today's topic for today is gonna be pretty
Spicy.
I don't know, spicy. As spicy as your food, I guess. Um. So today's topic is that we wanted to talk about justice, and its many forms, and this is gonna be quite a broad topic. So
Many
we're gonna,
form.
I mean, in many kinds of yeah, forms. All right. So there's some topics I wanted to talk about. So first of all, justice. Why don't we go through its description first? Its definition. Justice. Do you think Justice
Wait,
League serving
nagpa-podcast
justice?
ako!
Podcast ka lang yan.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, dude.
No, it's
to
alright.
interrupt. Go ahead.
So yeah, let's go through the definition of justice.
Mhm.
What do you think first, yeah, for you? What's like the definition of justice? I know it's kind of a
Well-
question, but yeah.
I guess the most basic I can describe it is as people getting what they deserve. It doesn't necessarily mean like in a bad way, but like yeah, like in general, people getting what they deserve. That's for me. That's what justice is.
Right. Actually, that's a pretty good definition. I didn't think of. I didn't have one on the top of my mind right now, pero I think we that's a pretty accurate definition. Okay, so yeah, it's like what getting what you deserve, right? Especially if you work for something,
Mm-hmm.
or um oh yeah,
Yeah,
or as even in the form of like basic rights. This
yeah,
is what you deserve, right?
yeah.
So now let's go to a to one form of justice that I think um people resort to, be- and that is in the form of revenge.
Mm.
Now this one, I think they've always taught you in school, or maybe if your parents, luckily, they tell you that revenge is like not the answer. Although
Isn't
some people,
violence isn't the answer? Not necessarily revenge, but like, right?
yeah, violence too. We're gonna get to that actually too.
Okay,
All
then yeah,
right,
yeah, for
yeah, we're
sure.
gonna get to that actually.
Uh,
But yeah, revenge. Sige, you first. What do you think? What do you
what
think
do I
about
think of
getting
revenge?
revenge? What do
Well,
you get? What do you think about getting revenge?
well, it's
Let's say you have this best friend. Oh no, sorry. I mean,
okay, dude. Let's not go there.
okay, okay, okay. Let's not go there. Like no, like the common example.
Yeah, 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 for sure,
Um,
for sure.
let's say this is a common example. So, someone. Fuck, it's like I'm thinking something out of Last of Us 2.
Okay.
So, someone kills someone, your a beloved like that,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah.
what
Someone
do
kills
you
your
do?
dad.
Oh yeah, exactly. Or like John Wick style, right?
John Wick style.
Right? Someone
Yeah,
kills
yeah,
your
yeah.
wife,
So
kills your
no,
dog.
someone kills your dog. Yeah,
Do
for
you
sure.
go?
No, okay, go ahead, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you go like full John Wick on the guys and his fucking friends?
It it depends on the context.
You
Well,
go full John
John Wick kasi is like it has layers eh. You just can't say like so.
layers
What
of
if someone
yeah.
kills your dog? Are you gonna go full John? Like there's layers to why John Wick did the things he did. But personally, for example, if like someone killed my dog, right? Yeah, I'd be mad, but I wouldn't like take another life. Yeah, I wouldn't kill him. Like I'd make
Ah,
sure that he gets the punishment he deserves. Maybe something like I mean, I would be so fucking mad.
pissed, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be so mad. But then if like the penalty for that is like a fine or like a fee, then maybe in the future I'll learn to be okay with it. Be make peace with it basically. As long as they 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 paid their dues.
They paid
Or
reparations.
yeah, yeah. Um I don't know. Like, do you get jail time if you do something? I don't think so, right? You
If you
don't.
you're
You get
I think
sanctioned by like animal protection laws, but then I don't think there's jail time in that.
yeah, I actually don't know too about like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
animal.
yeah.
I think you do. I wish we have Kusho right now.
Yeah, that's true. You
Diba?
need a legal advisor.
Actually,
Yeah,
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 because we're
yeah.
gonna get to that also.
No,
So
but
yeah, diba? If
well,
someone,
like let's do a different example. Like, okay, like, what if someone kills your dad? Then you'd be
yeah.
more mad,
Oh, I
right?
wanted to get to the different examples because, like, there's different examples of
Yeah, 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 yeah.
when do you
When do you resort
use resort to
to?
revenge
Yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah.
or what kind of revenge you're gonna do. Yeah, like let's say the lightest example is someone
Kills
stole
your
your food.
stole your
No,
food.
no, no, not food. Let's say,
I'd make
yeah.
them buy me another one, dude. Like, fuck you. Get me
What's the
another
next one?
fucking. Get me
Someone,
another fucking plate of food. If you're gonna steal mine, I'll make you pay for another one, dude. Cause like, fuck
yeah,
off. Yeah.
yeah, dude. That's just
But
gag.
I wouldn't resort. Yeah, I wouldn't resort to like
You
hurting
wouldn't.
the
Yeah,
guy.
you wouldn't, right?
I
Because
wouldn't. I
it's not
wouldn't. Yeah,
worth
yeah.
like.
It's not. Yeah, it is. It's not. It's not.
And
Yeah.
then if you go up the ladder, like if someone like kills your dog or like your pet, right?
Yeah,
Would you still?
that's
I don't know.
dude.
But
I might hurt them,
I
but
might
I'm
hurt
not gonna
them.
kill them, dude. Like, oh, that's too extreme, man. Am I gonna get okay? This
I
for
mean, it's
legal purposes. This is all a joke. Okay, I'm not actually gonna.
we're just thinking thinking out loud
Cause,
for
cause
the
we
sake.
might get some legal repercussions here. So like for
Actually,
legal
yeah.
purposes, these are all jokes, okay? We're not actually gonna hurt people.
We're just reflecting. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, even like I would hurt them. Is will that be is that justified? I don't know. And then when you brought up like was if someone kills like your loved one, like your parents or maybe your significant other,
Mm-hmm.
then it becomes more personal, right? Do you so same? Do you go all John Wick, go ham to the guys that perpetrated like the
Again, it
murder?
depends. If it's murder, fuck yeah, dude. If I had the resources and the skills to do it, fuck yeah, I will.
You'd kill them. You
Yeah,
kill them back.
yeah, for sure. But if it wasn't like, if it was, it all depends on circumstances. If it wasn't
Okay,
an
so
accident,
what circumstance? Oh, okay,
if it
if
wasn't
it
an
was if
accident,
it was an accident,
I'd be mad, but I wouldn't
but
resort to those
it's
kinds of
not their
things because
fault.
it's yeah, it's not their fault. I mean, yeah, I will blame them, but again, in an accident, nobody wants that to happen, right? Nobody wants accidents to happen. It's an accident, so yeah,
Hmm.
I'll
But
still
if
be
it,
mad, but I wouldn't resort to taking the law into my own hands, basically, when it comes to
uh,
those kinds of things.
yeah, actually, that's yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct. But what if it's premeditated
Yeah, it's
na?
like as actual murder, dude. Fuck.
It's actually
I'm,
murdered.
I'm gonna go like I mean I'm not gonna pretend I don't have the skills. I don't have the skill set nor the fucking tools to go John Wick on those motherfuckers. But if I did, I'll go like I'll be unhinged, bro. Like fuck yeah, bro. I'ma
Oh
hunt those people
Jesus,
down, dude. Yeah, for
Jesus
sure.
Christ!
Wouldn't you? If you had the skill set, you had the tools to do it
If I
yourself, wouldn't
me
you? Yeah.
now that's a good question. Cause I wouldn't actually
Really? Okay, that's
because
interesting.
I actually never believe in exacting revenge the way
Mm.
they did it. I think they are due for what do you call that?
Okay.
Rehabilitation instead.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Actually, we're gonna get to another topic that recently kind of happened in the U.S. Because doubt. What do you mean doubt?
Do,
I'm
do
not.
I
I'm
know
not
about this
one.
issue?
I think we've talked about it a bit. Yeah, we did talk about it a bit.
Okay.
But sige.
No, okay.
Actually,
Expound
yes,
mo
yeah.
na. Yeah, go back to
But
your
yeah,
initial
we're
point.
gonna go to that later. But yeah, I don't really believe in ano eh.
Really? In
Yeah,
revenge?
killing actually
Well,
in any form of
mm,
killing, even as a form of like revenge. Oh, because it's like an eye for an eye, right?
yeah.
An eye for an eye in a society makes a
Makes the
society
world
go
go
blind.
blind. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure,
exactly.
for sure.
So if it's like imagine if you murdered like a loved one, and then I would feel really pissed off, right? So if you do that to the same guy, wouldn't like another person feel the same way? The like
That's
if he's
true.
like
That's
I don't
true.
know. So I don't want that feeling to be passed on to another person.
Mm, mm.
So instead of like getting angry, I know even for me, I think saying this it's very idealistic.
It is.
It
But,
is, it is.
you know, like, it's a
But
noble way to look at things, right? It's idealistic, but it's noble.
yeah, exactly. So I we always in my martial arts karate, we always say na parang don't let your emotions cloud your
Mm.
decisions, right? Same with I think they also said in Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like a
I'm
Jedi
sure.
thing, dude.
That's like a Jedi thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, very much like Ang. Oh,
Never watched.
um, I don't want to say that because I might piss off chat.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, no, I watched Avatar, but I like as a kid, like oh, it's on TV, and then I never like bothered to watch the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Well, you
It's
should.
like
You
if it's
should.
on TV, I enjoy
Mm,
watching Avatar, but it's like I never bothered to watch the whole thing from start to finish.
you should give
But
it a
yeah,
watch because it really is. On a deeper level, it is interesting. It talks about a lot
bro,
of like
Western
issues and
anime.
philosophies.
But no, just joking.
It
Yeah,
is. It's
actually,
pretty good.
no, they a lot of people say it's pretty good.
It
Yeah,
is.
so I actually want to together with okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna piss off chat. I'm gonna piss off chat if I say that I haven't watched FMA Brotherhood.
Okay, where you're
No,
digging
okay.
yourself a hole now. Okay, let's
Exactly,
let's let's
exactly.
go back to
Let's.
topic. Yeah.
Is that worth killing me, chat? Is that?
Wait, wait,
Would you be
continue.
happy to exact that revenge on me? Anyway,
Okay, anyway, sorry.
So I'm not a staunch believer of capital
Revenge.
punishment
Okay.
or like the death penalty. No judgment here. Thank you, chat. Thank you. So because again, you're like passing on that feeling to another person
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like hatred and shit.
It's a chain.
And yeah, and it's better to rehabilitate the guy so that he can still be, a useful member of society.
Mm-hmm.
And usually members or like criminals um in the um, in the definition of like the state by its laws are like they're outlaws of society, and it's hard for them to connect back to society if they are like treated as such. Like, let's say drug users or maybe even criminals, they're gonna be treated a different way, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna say, oh, that guy's sus.
Mm.
Right?
No,
So,
but to me, sorry to interrupt, but to me, it all depends on the severity of the crimes they committed. For example, a drug user to me won't be as I won't be as sus to a drug user
uh,
than I am to like a cold
uh,
blooded murderer, right? Because like
yeah,
that guy's fucking evil, right?
that's
But
true.
then someone who abuses like drugs or like substance abuse, not necessarily evil, but like that abuse, that substance might have driven them to something that they didn't mean to do in the first place, right? It all depends
Hmm.
on the severity again of the crime, and if they actually meant to do it. Because there's a whole like a psychology behind why people do what they do, like especially criminals. But you can't deny that there are people who are just plainly evil, right?
That's true. Yeah,
So yeah,
especially sociopaths.
yeah, and
La-
psychopaths.
Yeah, if I don't know, do you know JCS psychology something? It's a YouTube channel that
It's
dissects
familiar.
it like dissects like in interviews from different people after they've committed the crime. It's like they have a video JCS. It's like people trying to act like retarded, but to get like a lesser penalty, right?
Yeah,
Some people do that, I'm sure. I'm
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
But it's like, and then they compared like people that are acting like, wait, did I say the R word? Acting
It's okay. Go ahead.
like people acting like mentally ill compared to someone who's actually mentally ill, like a sociopath
Mentally
or a psychopath.
challenged is I think
No,
what you meant to say.
no, not mentally challenged, but mentally ill, because like they're sociopaths,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. It's like this guy's like acting. It's like
Playing
it's
it
like
dumb.
yeah, playing dumb, and then he compared it to another guy that's a sociopath. It's like, yes, I did kill him. Why? I don't know. It's like,
Yeah,
dude, he
yeah,
doesn't have a remorse. He doesn't have a
yeah. There
reason to
are people
kill.
like that. Yeah.
So he's just really, yeah, JCS criminal psychology. Yeah, exactly that one. They have really good videos. It's like um they dissect like
I feel
in
like
this
wait,
in
sorry.
this
I
scene.
feel like this music is not fit for what we're talking about. I'm just gonna
Wait,
stop the music. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, sorry. It just ruins the mood. Yeah.
no, it's okay. Well, yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, like there's a side by side comparison, and yeah, there are gonna be people like that, and that's why I heavily believe in investing in social, what do you call this, welfare institutions that
Mm-hmm.
help these kinds of people. For like example, rehabilitation, mental asylums, and usually they're not like heavily, or usually these places um I watch videos like this to fall asleep. Yeah, his voice is pretty his voice is pretty one of those voices that make you sleep. Um but yeah, for rehabilitation, and usually these places are not funded really well. So they become like actually horror places where you actually don't want to end up in a mental
Mm.
asylum because it's just horrible treatment over
Especially
there.
here.
Yeah. So I wish they did that so that these kinds of people can be reintegrated into
Okay.
society and they're not alienated, you know. But yeah, I so that's my like take on revenge.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't like killing, capital punishment, death penalty. I don't think anyone deserves to their life to be taken from them, even even though they've committed severe crimes, you know. But yeah, I think it's just we're influenced a lot by,
Western
I don't know if
media.
it's like the media in general. Nah, it's supposed to be like this, and then you have like games like The Last of Us 2 that somehow anger a lot of people. I mean,
Well,
I understand
that's
because
yeah.
the ending, they didn't like the ending.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm sure they didn't like the ending. This story,
I feel like
especially yeah,
no, sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
especially how they treated one of the main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty that was pretty dumb, to be honest. And then they don't like
No,
the ending. The
but
ending's pretty,
the thing is, like, objectively, it's
yeah.
not a bad end. It's not a bad story.
It's I haven't played it, so and now I
I've
didn't go.
watched through it. It's
Oh,
not a
okay.
bad story, to be honest with you. And to anyone who would disagree, I mean, yeah, I get it. I get why you're mad at Naughty Dog
The
for doing such a disservice, if you feel like it is, to the fans. Because to be honest with you, that character didn't deserve to go out that way.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it. But the thing is, the story they're trying to portray is something of a grounded one, a realistic one,
Yeah, I
and
was gonna say that.
like the ending is a more idealistic way of dealing with that kind of realistic problem, right? It's really idealistic. You wouldn't see, like,
Okay.
given the circumstances, if that actually happened in the real world, that kind of ending will not likely happen. So it's an idealistic view of something that actually happens in the real world,
Mm, right.
which is nice, objectively good in my
Right.
well, if I say it's my in my opinion, it's not objective, but in objectively, it is a good way to, like, subvert, right, like, expectations, and expectations were
True.
subverted. So they set out what they did what they set out to do, which is great from a game design story perspective, which is nice, which is great, and props to them for sticking what they did. But there are some, like, the whole game isn't perfect, basically.
Definitely.
There are some aspects of it that are just, like, seem to what do you call it? Not tacky, but, like, it
Not
seems too
well
forced.
the
Some
what do you call it?
things, some
Delivered.
aspects of the, yeah, like, they're not delivered well, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask, like if it's delivered well. But yeah, I think oh yeah, the story's too kind of grounded talaga. Oh yeah, you're right. It's like it's like you removed like the main protagonist syndrome from these characters, and then that's actually what happens in real
Yeah,
life.
because you treat them as real people. That's what they did.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say that too. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, and then the
Yeah.
ending was pretty idealistic. What you said, yeah, you're
It
on
is.
point there. So yeah, so yeah, revenge. There you have it. So yeah, so moving
Hmm.
on. Um
I have a question though,
yeah.
because
Oh sige.
you finished Death Note.
You haven't.
I haven't, but I know what
Oh,
happens. I know what happens. I spoiled myself, but
oh God.
no,
Okay, sige,
but I
anyway.
know. Like, it's an old anime. It's okay. But you finished Death Note, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Would you say the world of Death Note is a just world?
The world of Death Note, like
Like, their whole, like, for example, Japan in the world of Death Note. Do you think that's a just world? The world that what the
when
L no Light,
when
what Light
light
built?
what light does?
No, yeah, like, what
Hell
Light
no.
did, really? You don't think it's a just world?
Like kill what he when he killed all the criminals in the world?
Yeah,
I know, I don't think so.
you
Again,
don't
I
think
don't
so?
like capital
Yeah, yeah,
punishment,
for sure.
so so I have to stick to it already, or else I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
sound like a
No, I
dick.
mean,
No, but no, still I still do I know because killing, sure, it reduces like the population of criminals, yeah, and in a way, it's quite uh better to do it like that because you're not murder.
it's not
Wait, well,
better. It's efficient.
It's efficient. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like
not
your
better.
C
It's
your
not at
CEO
all
fights
better.
900 people over Zoom. Tang ina.
That's not better. That's efficient. It's an
It's
efficient
efficient.
way of doing it. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like a mysterious kind of death. So it's not like, oh, this guy did it, or like,
Yeah, it's
there
not
are they.
proven that they actually did those crimes.
Oh, it's like all of them were like suicide, but
A
oh, heart attack, right?
heart attack.
Heart
Yeah.
attack. So yeah, so it was like a pretty convenient kind of way to dispose of such criminals. Pero again, the fact that it alienates criminals is like, oh, I did a crime, and then suddenly, like you're guilty with yourself, and then especially if you have a criminal record na,
Yeah.
so you might be like, oh shit, you. Well, let me think more about this actually.
No, because I would argue that it actually is a just world. What do I mean by this? He's basically God.
Well, think about it like this. What if there are some like a percentage of criminals that are on the way to rehabilitation and they're like trying to turn their lives
And they
over
died.
already, like because they had the realization and then they died. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, with Death Note is that Light is literally playing God. He's the
He
judge,
is.
jury, and executioner. And okay, I wanted to bring this as a context, but I see justice as subjective. It's not
Okay.
like for me, justice is personal, right? It's something that um for example, the system might find this as the appropriate punishment for the crimes that someone did to you, but for you, that might not be enough, right? Or that might be too much sometimes. There are cases like that. So to me, justice is very subjective in a way that only you can decide if if the if the if, for example, if the criminal, what they did to you, if they actually paid for their crimes, right? For me, it's a personal thing wherein like, yeah, like for example, some people might get like well, again,
Well,
this is gonna be this is gonna sound bad. This is a like a based opinion, but
uh
like yeah, like people won't necessarily be satisfied with the judgment
justice.
given, the justice, yeah, given to certain people. So like especially when a crime as grave as like as murder is done to someone super close to you, of course you'd wanna like seek justice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like to most people,
Boy guide. Uno boy guide.
hello,
Uno boy guide.
ah, to some
He's cute.
people, yeah, like life imprisonment isn't enough.
Okay.
And what makes for me the world of Death Note just is that the punishment is handed out by one man and one man only. Do you get what
Okay.
I'm like
Yeah, yeah, no, I get it. I was thinking
so
about it
like
while you were talking
yeah,
also.
so like it's a just world in a sense that punishment is delivered by a person. Or
Mm-hmm.
like the whole thing, the whole like justice system is basically given to one person and one person only.
So
And
one person decides.
like yeah, and like you can't say that Light is stupid because no, like he's the exact opposite of stupid. He's like some would say the smartest man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, yeah, it is a just world because he is objective in the way he deals his like punishments to criminals. He's not like emotionally attached to any of the victims, to any of that. He has a goal and he sticks to that goal. He wants to create a better world, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not justifying murder again. I'm not justifying murder, but in a way, that is how the world of Death Note is a just world.
Okay.
That's how I see it, basically. Yeah.
All right. So you see justice as subjective.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Not
think,
subjective. Subjective is the wrong word. Personal. Personal.
oh, personal. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would quite argue against that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it's. I think it becomes it's personal. Yeah. Okay. But what do you call this? The way that you want justice to be exacted is, I think, still kind of clouded by your emotions, really.
Yeah, it is
I
for
think like
sure.
that. And I think if you calm down a bit, may siguro, and then put those emotions aside, and then if you, I think when I think about like someone getting murdered, like as if like it was a, what do you call this, a natural accident. Like let's say a tornado came through your village, right? And then
Your
your
family died.
your family dies, okay, and then you lost your house, and then it's, you can't really exact like
Revenge.
revenge or justice because it's
Oh my
natural, no.
god! Doon ka nga sa kwarto!
And
Sorry, go
then
ahead.
I see the same way as like having a murderer like come into your life like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, the thing is that you can try to exact justice to that person, but how do I say this?
Because like I get what you mean. Because like in a natural disaster, you can't really exact your revenge on God, right? Because
Yeah,
that's that's a God. That's like a natural phenomenon. You can't exact revenge on
yeah, and
nature.
it's just that your fates collided with that
Yeah, yeah,
murderer,
yeah.
like, right.
By some chance, right? You
Mm-hmm.
had to go through that person.
Yeah, and what do you call that? I think punishment should be given to the what do you call this, suspect, to the perpetrator of that murder, yeah. But I don't think murder would be outright like necessary.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not
I would
s-
believe
I'm not
because
saying like I don't I like I'm against death penalty,
mm-mm,
to be clear. I'm
right,
against death penalty because I know the justice system is not perfect. Like, people
yeah,
make mistakes.
mm-hmm, yeah, and then the
And like yeah,
what
and
do
the
you call
thing is like what I meant by justice being personal is that it's all about personal satisfaction. It's
it?
like,
Mm-hmm,
are you satisfied? Like, if you ask me, like, if that person, like you said, like a murderer, right, murders someone in your family, would I be satisfied if this person gets the life sentence or eventually rehabilitated, right? Like,
right. I
enters back into society? I would not.
maybe because I'm looking at this from a
From
kind
an
of kind of a Buddhist kind of
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it
I can
doesn't
see. Yeah,
matter
yeah,
what
yeah.
their result is. Okay, it's just a natural accident.
Mm.
But yeah, speaking on that,
Cause I
on
be-
the same note,
yeah,
what do you
but
call
I
this?
think the difference is that I'm a very sentimental person. So like
I see. Yeah.
I treat like people as like, well, this is gonna sound bad, but I treat them as things given to me. So
People,
like my emotional attachment to them is really like strong.
right?
So for something to happen to any of these people, I am very emotionally attached.
Yeah.
So like, do you get what I like where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. You treat people as things. No,
not
okay.
really
No, no. I'm
like
just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just
no,
joking.
I'm very
I get it.
yeah, like
You're
I'm
emotional
very
like that. Uh,
sentimental. I'm very sentimental.
mm-mm.
So like yeah, I wouldn't want anything to happen if and if something does happen to these people, like
The thing.
depending on the
I get it.
severity, like
Uh,
yeah, like fuck, I would like I would let my emotions take over,
yeah.
basically
Right.
over
The thing
logic.
is, I keep forgetting this point, but now I got it now.
Okay, go
Before I
ahead, go ahead.
forget it, I'll just say it now. Now I think the, what do you call this? Um, the thing that murderer did, yeah, he deserves punishment, but not like death penalty. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's because, what do you call this? I'm about to forget it again. I think because society has failed him instead. like if you think about it from his like perspective, why would he do that? What is his motive? What drove him to do such things, right? It's the same
Yeah.
with drugs. Maybe society has failed him to do something like that. He has nothing else to live for. He has nothing else to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So he does things that are like not within his um what do you call this? Um correct reasoning
Mm-hmm.
to do such things. Society
I get what
has
you mean. I get what you
failed a
mean.
person like that. So it's a person like that. Well, I try to be still very empathetic and to all kinds of people, not all kinds, but all people with different walks of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take on it. They should still be punished, but he should also be rehabilitated. Yeah, emphasis on that so that, you know, they won't do it again.
Yeah, that's true. Again, it's a very idealistic way of looking at things, right?
It is, it is.
But again, yeah, I like to look at it kasi as a case to case basis. Not everyone necessarily deserves rehabilitation. Not everyone necessarily deserves a second chance at life. Because
It's either
again,
that or for me,
like
mental asylum.
yeah,
Because they
like
might be deranged.
like again, I'm going back to the point where some people are just naturally evil.
Yeah,
There are just
there are some
actual
people like that.
evil people. So like, what about
Or,
them? Like,
yeah,
I
for
would
me, it's
like to
just
pose the
two
question to
things:
you. Like,
rehabilitation or mental asylum. That's all,
so
really,
you
for me.
for evil people, you just put them in a mental asylum.
And if it's really hard to rehabilitate someone like that, yeah,
Yeah, that's why. Cause like,
contain them,
yeah, containment. Yeah, that's
containment.
true.
And then you brought up like a point na a one person deciding the fate of people, like light. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know about that too. I don't know about that
No,
too.
no, that's not that's not like it's not ideal. Again, I'm like the context is that Light is a very objective person.
Oh, it's
And
like you're saying
with context of
an
the anime,
AI.
with context of the
Uh,
anime, yeah, yeah, for sure. Like he's a very objective person. He doesn't look at things as like he's not driven by emotion. Wherein like, oh, this person did something bad to a friend, I'm gonna kill him. He's not like that, right? What he did is like people who are in line with the like who are set to be like killed by the capital punishment in Japan. That's what he killed, right? That's all his victims. Like everyone who
mhm,
did like grievous crimes and everyone who's in line with death row,
on
basically.
death row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he eliminated. But yeah, like it's in the real world that wouldn't work. But
Yeah, of course.
in that context, in that sense, yeah, it works because like again, Light is not a stupid person. He's not even a person. He's more in a way you can say he's a sociopath, right? But
Hmm.
he's a just sociopath in my opinion.
I wonder about that actually. I haven't thought about that. No, Death Note. That's actually a pretty good
Yeah, yeah,
like
it is.
anime to bring in this topic. But yeah. Sige, let's move on. Let's
Yeah,
move
yeah. Let's
on.
go. Let's go.
Actually,
Go ahead.
so there we have revenge, and then now, okay, sige, we're now gonna go into justice in the sense of like the state and its
Okay.
laws and rules that the state tries to enforce
Uh huh.
to its people, and how just is it really?
Mm-hmm.
So because the state, talking about the state, because there's many ways that there's many ways that they try to put order into their people, and yeah, order is something that you want is if you're ruling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they use like the law, and then they enforce it by police or even the military. Hmm. But I'm sure in most cases, no, there are going to be some cases where the law is not going to be upheld, or um it's not going to be fairly, it's not going to fairly treat its
Yeah.
um its people, especially how law enforcement works in especially some countries. There it's not going to be like just or fair.
Yeah.
So I like to think about what do you call this? what could be a good question about this actually? Because how I see the state and its laws, it's that the state, the laws that it has only tries to defend the ruling class,
Yeah.
like it's like government officials or even its economic um what, allies, would you say, like let's say the capitalists, right?
The upper class, basically. Yeah.
The upper
Well,
class basically.
there is
It depends per government really, but
there's a saying wherein, like, if the punishment for a and then if the punishment for a law, oh wait, sorry, yeah, if the punishment for a law is a fee, then it's only meant for the poor, basically, something like that. For example, like, if the punishment for, like, breaking a law is you have to pay a fee,
fine,
then that's anti-poor. Yeah,
it's
it's if it's a fine,
anti-poor.
yeah.
Okay.
Cause I
Yeah,
mean,
actually, yeah,
it
I get it.
does have a
Uh-oh.
point. Cause, like,
Parang there are some punishments that they do, like, oh, this guy's gonna go to jail or for this amount of years, or you're gonna pay a fine. They're just
yeah,
gonna pay a fine when
yeah,
it
and,
happens
like,
to you.
especially in
Oh,
the Philippines, wherein, like for example, traffic laws, they're the ones
yeah.
that are easily broken, right? Like,
Yeah,
I believe that um if there is no if there is a violation which does not include property damage, then you don't have to pay a fee. Either you go to rehabilitation, or you have to go through, like, a class, like rehabilitation, like class, or a seminar, like
yeah.
driving 101, something like that, right? Then that's
Hmm.
something more productive, something more just, in a sense that you're actually dealing with the problem, right?
Right.
Instead of, like, charging people, like, oh, you beat the red light, you have to pay 500 in this, like, like,
Yeah.
city hall or
After
some
doing
shit.
that, you might still do it again.
Yeah, he's gonna fucking do it. Like, it's 500 lang. Yeah, yeah. If I have to do it, then I'll fucking do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
actually, yeah, you have a
That's
point there.
fucking stupid, right? You're not addressing the problem. You're just you're just siphoning off
It's
money from people.
Yeah, actually paying a fine, I don't think it solves problems
Yeah, it
really.
doesn't.
No.
It doesn't solve problems. Paying
It's
fines is bullshit, dude.
I think paying fines would be okay if the crime committed was very light. Like it's very easy to fix it. But if it's like other kinds of
Like, if it's
criminal
property damage,
offenses,
yeah, for sure, pay a fine, because you're gonna have to pay for the like
reparations, and
reparations of that
damages, the
thing, the
damages,
damages.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure, pay a fine. But if, like, for example, like
The
jaywalking,
damage,
like, why do I have to fucking pay a fine for jay? Like, it's so dumb. It's obviously not,
uh,
like, thought about, like, because, like, it's so stupid. Like,
especially if the damages are like mental
yeah, diba?
or
It's so stupid,
psychological.
especially in the Philippines. Laws here, like, the law enforcement especially is so dumb. It's so poorly
Implemented.
implemented. Yeah, it is in the Philippines. It's so bad.
Thus it's yeah, poorly enforced.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really want to mix the two, but I think there's some part na no, it's how would I say this, na it's kind of inevitable na the economy, the kind of economy we have, or and then the government has some influence with the laws that it makes.
It
I'll I'm gonna make the US as an example.
isn't it
Um,
already happening?
yeah,
Isn't that
I'm gonna make
lobbying?
I'm exactly. I'm gonna make the US as an example. They especially I always say that I know I say that the state has implemented its laws based around protecting its upper class, its ruling class, as we would say.
Protecting personal interests, basically.
Yeah, personal, not state
Yeah,
interests, not public interest, personal interests.
yeah,
Like for
that is
example,
true.
they made a illegal thing legal, like bribing. Now they call it lobbying,
It
right?
is. Well, in the
And
U.S. at least, in the states.
yeah, in the US at
Here,
least. I
it's
think
not legal. It's not legal here. They do it
I
under
don't
the
we don't do it
table.
here.
They do it under the table. It's
Yeah,
not like an actual like it's not something that's publicly announced here, but in like
but
it is done
it is
like
done. I'm sure
under the
they do it one
table.
way or
Yeah,
another.
dude, for
Yeah.
sure, bro.
And
Like
then there are gonna be billionaires and like business owners, especially big business owners that are gonna get like government bailouts where if they're doing poor or not they're not doing well, especially like today's pandemic or in any kind of economic crisis, they're gonna get money from the government. And this money it comes from like the tax dollars of
yeah,
the ordinary citizen. So there you have it. It's like why are these billionaires getting they can like billionaires
they
have
can
like an
sustain.
sustain. Oh, they could like live for themselves already. Why do we have to pay them more? Um, just because they fucked up a
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
they can
They
like
can
handle
live
their own
another
stuff.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but for the ordinary citizen, especially the impoverished ones that are neglected by the state and society, they don't know if they have another tomorrow. They don't know if they have food tomorrow.
Yeah,
For the impoverished.
there's a good example here in the Philippines. It's the I forgot the proper
Also,
term, but
there
it's
was
the
sige, sige.
what do you call it? The regularization. Basically anti-contractualization.
Ah,
There's a reason why it hasn't been passed until now. I mean, I'm just like what do you call it? I'm just throwing ideas, or like I'm just speculating here, but I do believe that people don't want to pass that kind of law that bans contractualization is because they have personal interests tied to it. That's the reason
mhm,
why labor is so cheap in the Philippines. You don't have to pay for actual regular employees. You can just pay them like for 6 months. You're under contract. You're working for my company, but I don't have to give you benefits. They're
right.
being exploited.
Exactly.
And who does this
Exactly.
benefit? These big companies, right? So it is,
Exactly.
in a way, it's kind of like that.
In a form that's kind of a form of wage theft
It
already.
is. It is.
Not giving benefits to your
Yeah.
workers, contractualization, and yeah, a lot of companies do this.
And it's
Uh,
funny how they brainwashed the mass
they
to
do.
look at like that's how they do it. That's how they brainwash people into saying that it's fair. They like
Fair.
people say when for example us fresh grads, right? Whenever we go out and look for companies to work for, we ask for like people are gonna say unreasonable wages. And
Unreasonable.
they're gonna compare to themselves like, oh, when I started I only had this, but then in reality they should have been getting more, right?
More
And then so like,
exactly.
why are you taking your frustrations out on me when I'm asking for a fair wage when you should be taking out on the company for them not for them not giving you the proper wages? I'm only asking for what I deserve.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So that's how they brainwash the people into thinking that it's right, it's okay to be fucking out of benefits, like being paid not like barely, like being paid like barely. And it's like it's so dumb that until
Uh
now it's
huh.
still a problem,
Yeah.
especially now
It's
in the pandemic, because like our frontliners aren't getting
no.
paid
Yeah.
enough,
Definitely.
dude. They're
They're
not
not
getting
getting
paid
paid.
enough.
They're not getting paid enough.
So like,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, it is,
it's
it's a very systemic problem,
it
and
is. It
it's
is
controlled by the upper class,
the
basically. Yeah,
big
for sure.
boys
Yeah,
and
the
the
big boys. It's not gonna end, because like contractualization is very convenient for big companies. That's why
it's
labor is cheap in
it's
the
not gonna
Philippines.
end until we change our economic okay, anyway, but anyway, moving on. But yeah, oh, that's why labor is very cheap in the global south,
Yeah,
right? In third world countries, developing countries. What
because
was that term? I heard someone say that third world countries are not underdeveloped, but they are overexploited countries,
overexploited. Yeah,
which
they
is like,
are. It's
damn shit, that's
super
pretty
true. It's
true.
super true. Because when you think about it, the Philippines is so rich in natural resources,
Yeah.
in manpower.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure we have oil in the West Philippine Sea. but fucking big boy right there.
Big boy neighbor,
Big
yeah.
boy neighbor fucking us up.
And that's why some like first world countries are already complaining. I mean, the people in the first world countries are complaining because they're losing their jobs to um other
Harder
other
working
outside,
people.
oh, from outside the country. They're outsourcing their labor from
Yeah.
outside the country because it's cheaper there. Labor is very cheap outside, so they're losing jobs over in their country,
Yeah.
and then it's just unfair,
It's a
man.
very systemic problem.
It's
It's
a systemic
so fucking
problem.
stupid how global, how widespread this fucking problem is, and
It is.
it's so dumb because like there's no one thing that if you change like one thing it'll all disappear because it's so yeah, like what you said, it's
Oh, we're
we're
gonna get
not
to
we're
that
not
also.
memeing anymore, but like yeah, I really have to change like the whole economic system
Yeah, we're gonna
basically.
get back to that. We're gonna get back to changing the economic
Maybe we
system,
can do it
okay?
in a different episode.
All right, sige,
Because
sige,
we're
sige.
way
But
off track na.
no, all
I
right,
mean, it's
sige.
still under
But
justice,
yeah,
but like, yeah, we're like in a bit of a
actually,
tangent.
in recent news nga pala, China, one of its bi- I think billionaires, one of its business owners, like, um, are not doing well. And then,
Yeah,
of
they
course, you think
defaulted.
about they defaulted exactly.
This is Evergrande.
Yeah, Evergrande, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's the
exactly.
I'm so fucking pissed because like I'm personally affected by this bullshit. Because that's the reason why everything is going down in the crypto market.
Ah, really?
Yeah, because of that. Everyone's afraid because like China, like Evergrande defaulted.
Defaulted,
So it's
yeah.
like
China's like,
everything's down, like Bitcoin, fucking
oh,
market move, everything
damn.
that I've invested in. It's all like all I see in my fucking in my what do you
God,
call this? In my
crypto
thing is
can be
red.
another topic.
Yeah, it
Jesus
is. It can
Christ.
be. We can get an expert
I
on it
I
next time.
fucking hate crypto, dude. But
Really?
that's another topic for that.
Really?
Because crypto, NFTs, and all that virtual bullshit is just unproductive labor. It's unproductive stuff,
Okay,
diba?
that's
Instead of like,
actually interesting. That's actually an interesting
yeah,
take.
but that's for another
But that's
time.
yeah. Let's save it for
It's like
another day. Cause
it's
that's
like
gonna
there's
be. I have the perfect guest for that. And that's gonna be interesting.
sige, sige,
It
sige,
is. It
sige.
is. Let's go.
I need
Let's
to do my
go.
research
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
though
yeah.
because
For sure. For sure.
the thing sige sige. Anyway, sige, let's not talk about that right now.
Yeah. I am looking forward to that episode. But yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. For
alright.
sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
same. Fucking
Okay.
NFTs. Like screenshot all of them, bro. Screenshot all of those
I
fucking
think
NFTs.
okay. Okay. Just to like air it out. Like, I feel like your main focus on why you hate. I think the main reason why you hate crypto is the existence of NFTs.
No, not really, no.
Or you
It's just
just hate the
it's
whole
not
thing.
no, it's just unproductive shit. And instead of focusing on like material stuff, you're focusing on virtual stuff.
Digital. Yeah.
Like, oh, that look at my virtual mansion. I bought the NFT
No,
to a
that
mansion.
is
Then
NFTs though. That is NFTs.
and then
I
I'm
feel
in
like
my
yeah,
fucking
that's the main reason why you hate
and
crypto. It's because of
crypto is also
NFTs.
it's basically gambling, dude.
It's no, it's stock. When you think about it, it's just stocks, digital
Yeah, stocks
stocks.
is basically gambling, bro.
It is, but
It
it's just
is.
stocks. It was just literally stocks, but digital
Oh
and
shit.
like
But
micro.
yeah,
But
sige,
yeah,
sige,
okay.
sige.
Let's
We're gonna
go
talk
back on
about that.
topic. Yeah, yeah. That's gonna be an interesting topic, though. Yeah.
Okay. What was I talking about?
Uh, I
So fucking
forgot this.
yeah. So again, these laws passed by the government are not meant to protect civil or public interest, but instead the interest of
Personal interests. The
ruling
ruling class.
class,
Yeah.
the upper class, and such. And they're gonna take all these money to bail out these or like to what do you call this upperclassmen, the ruling class, from your own taxes,
Mm-hmm.
the taxes that you pay. Don't oh just one quick sidetrack, no. The US pulled out of Afghanistan.
Yeah, they did.
You know how much they decreased their
Defense
military
budget.
spending? Yeah,
How
they
much?
didn't.
What?
They did not. They did not, dude.
What?
They did not. I think is that what- I think the Pentagon Papers na ba? I think they released na ba?
Dude,
They did
that's so
not.
fucked. Dude. What the fuck? Like the biggest problem, like the biggest spending they had to be like the biggest portion of that
It
spending
is the
has to be
biggest
no
spending.
no but the biggest portion of that spending has to be the logistics because you're
Yeah,
sending people out, you're sending
yeah.
technology out.
Places around the
Yeah,
world.
now that you don't need to send people out, you don't have to pay for all that shit. Why are you still spending that much, dude? What the
It's
fuck?
just fucked, dude. It just fucked. But yeah, that was I just wanted to
What
talk about
the?
that because it's so fucked, dude.
It's so funny. Because it's not our problem. It's funny because it's not our problem.
It will be if I don't know, man.
Ah, shit,
So
man.
where are we? Where are we?
Fuck.
And then yeah, going to the like police and military is
Uh,
imagine like your tax dollars are going into the government, right? And then that government spending goes to like sorry, in the case of the US, because I really love dwelling in US politics because it's so based, it's so spicy. Everything's like every
it's
politician's like a dumbass already.
well,
So it's like it's
it's
fun to shit on, I
it's
swear.
it's it's a circus, but you're not personally involved, so that's why it's
Yeah,
funny. Cause
exactly,
the
exactly.
the reason why I'd find that fun too, cause like I'm not personally involved, but whenever I look into Philippine
Philippine
politics, I
politics,
just get
like
stressed, cause
we're
like
just the
what the fuck's happening to my
we're all
country, dude?
doomers na.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
like, but
We're
then
just
when
doomers.
you look at it from like an outsider perspective, it's funny, cause like what the fuck are these people doing?
These people are so dumb, dude. And then Philippines, god damn.
We're all
We're just
doomed, bro.
we're all
We're all gonna die.
dude, it's
Fucking
such
stupid ass people. Jesus Christ.
and it's like you can't solve this problem on your own,
It's
right? It's
yeah,
a
you can.
systemic
It is.
problem kasi. So what do you call this? Yeah, your imagine your tax dollars going to like funding the police, funding the military, and what do these people do? What do the cops do? They just like further oppress
Yeah, the working
they just further
class,
oppress the working class.
the poor,
Exactly, the poor.
fucking
And the thing
pigs.
is, why they do this is because the police serve the interests of the ruling class also,
Yeah,
because
they're
like
basically their like
they're bodyguards,
yeah,
really, they're
personal
guards.
bodyguards. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, and then especially if if rallies happen, they're always gonna deploy the police just in case
yeah,
for like safety, like
violence. Yeah,
in case of violence, yeah. And then what normally happens in rallies, well, sometimes when it degrades to like
rioting.
more rioting, usually it starts off first by police brutality
Yeah, it
police
does.
brutality, such as tear gas, right? They're throwing tear gas, they're already shoving them back or like using their batons already. And then what happens if that someone from the protesters like throw the tear gas back to them, or suddenly it's like
Yeah, it's like
violence
rules
against
of
police
engagement
already.
now
Yeah,
already. Yeah,
oh,
it's like
suddenly they change now,
oh
and then oh
yeah,
fuck,
like
we're gonna fuck
safety's
you up
off,
now.
boys. Let's
Yeah,
fucking go.
dude,
Yeah,
it's just
it's
fuck, dude.
dumb.
So what can you do if you have this heavily funded, heavily like militarized like police, and then you don't have like the capacity to
Yeah,
rally, or like your rallies are becoming invalid,
yeah,
right? They can just ignore you and brush you off. And this is what happens. This is our like rallying is like one of our only political
power.
powers,
Yeah,
yeah. Aside from voting, what else can you do to change the system?
voting. Yeah, voting and
Go to
rallying basically.
Congress. I don't know. I don't know if that will work. Cause fuck that.
Yeah, because you can always just get vetoed.
Yeah, exactly. So your other political power is rallying,
Yeah,
right? And even that's not gonna be effective if you have a heavily militarized police.
yeah, especially if it's like well
That's
funded
who.
too.
Oh, exactly. That's why it's very incredible in the Philippines that the people power happened,
Yeah,
right? Because the only thing that can stop such political um what do you call this, wrongdoings is by
getting
um
together.
yeah, banding together,
Yeah,
the people banding together were to serve the interests of the public,
the greater good. Yeah,
changing Yeah, exactly. So it's very impressive if it
Oh,
happens like
by the
not
way,
violently.
yeah, sorry. By the way, Zep's not here to stop me. So like, the people power actually happened. EDSA revolution actually fucking happened. Get your fucking facts right. Get your facts straight, you fucking
Are,
stupid ass dumbasses.
are
It
there
actually
people that
did
don't believe?
happen. Yeah.
Oh
They
God.
actually believe that EDSA is just some yellow propaganda. Fuck you. You're actually fucking stupid. Go read a book or something.
I
It actually
actually
did happen. Fuck Marcos, okay? Fuck that guy. The fucking
yeah,
martial law happened. Fuck all of
yeah.
you.
A lot of
Eh,
people
just
think
kidding.
actually I wanted to talk about yeah, Zep's not here to stop us. Fuck you,
Yeah,
Zep.
fuck you, Zep.
Okay. The thing is, a lot of people are like Marcos, and it's very surprising to me.
Dude, my
The
Lola likes fucking Marcos. I don't fucking understand it. All my
the-
grandparents like the Marcos. It's like, it's a good thing y'all are not
yeah.
voting. Cause like, my future's doomed if you are voting.
It's like the thing is, the it's like that video that the Muslim guy that talks about democracy. Democracy is for the people, by the people,
I remember
but the
this.
people are okay. I can
Yeah,
say the
yeah,
R
yeah,
word.
yeah, yeah.
That's my only gripe with democracy. I like democracy, but that's my only gripe with democracy. And it's such a again, it's a systemic problem because of education. Now the thing is, going back to the Marcoses, like it's I'm
Okay,
dumbfounded how a lot of people
go
support
like,
the
since
Marcoses.
we're in the topic of justice, right?
Yeah, sige.
These people paid off everything, dude. They were
I'm
charged
sure they
like
did.
Imelda was charged for I think graft and corruption,
Corruption.
and she just bailed out. She just
I
paid bail and she's out.
I
And
totally believe that.
the reason was why she was allowed bail was that, oh, we have to take into consideration her age and her health. She's a very old person. Like, fuck you, dude. You're not afraid to put a fucking 70-year-old in jail for fucking shoplifting. You're not fucking scared of putting this bitch into prison for the amount of shit she stole from the government, from
Country
the fucking country,
from
dude.
the people. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. It's like, it's so
It's
fucking bullshit,
insane.
dude. It
It's
is.
insane.
That's why I don't believe in capital punishment in the Philippines, because the law enforcement themselves, the whole justice system is so fucked that if you implement something like that, it's just gonna be abused to fucking further what do you call this? Oppress the working and the poor class. It's
Right.
so dumb.
Exactly. And wasn't the Marcos regime regime? Or I want to call it regime so that it has a bad sting to fucking Marcos. And didn't they suspend the writ of habeas corpus for
They
them?
did, dude.
They
So
did, but it's
you
this
can be
regime.
fucking
It's like
abducted from the streets
yeah,
for no
for no
fucking reason. Just
reason.
for like, for example, like a fucking police officer just thought na, oh, this guy looked at me
Sus.
bad. Yeah, this guy's sus. I'm a
This
fucking,
guy's not.
and then you're not gonna be fucking seen ever again.
Yeah, dude. I don't know why.
It's like,
I that the only reason people support the Marcoses is that there's still that delusion lingering around that the Marcos regime was actually good.
it
There's a
they
delusion
they
that
equate like,
that exists.
yeah,
They don't believe that they stole, and they think that capital punish. Those people are they're the kind of people that believe that these people should be put to in death row. These
yeah,
criminals.
yeah,
It's those kinds of people,
it
and
is
those kinds of people don't have like
proper
I don't
education.
yeah, I wanted to say proper education, but fuck, it's true. Actually, it's
I
kind of
mean,
true.
like, you can say it's fucking rude or what or whatever, but it is the truth.
It is
These
the
people
truth.
are just not educated.
But even though if you get an education, it's not guaranteed pa rin
It
eh.
is. It
I
is.
think
It
yeah,
it
it's
it,
not just
it, it
because of
has
that
a lot of different factors, but the biggest factor is education.
education, yeah. Because education, enrolling yourself into a school has a profound effect on a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And and you won't have those effects from a diverse kind of community if you don't have education.
And
and all you believe is from your parents, the last
yeah,
generation, from your based friends, based parents.
your based grandparent who think that the Marcos regime was nice
Yeah,
because
and
they
then they're
had
saying,
an 8 p.m. curfew.
yeah, and then everything was cheap because of that, dude.
Yeah, and they
God,
didn't bother do the research why $1 was equal to 1 peso during
one
that time.
peso. Yeah, they
Even
did not.
even when it was already 1 peso, even before the Marcos time,
Yeah,
Marcos era.
they.
It's
I
so
think
fucking stupid, dude.
they equate the booming economy to Marcos.
When in fact it
It,
actually went
it was
down.
gonna boom. Oh, did it go down?
It dude,
Did,
the fucking dip the
I think
economy
actually,
went
yeah.
through.
I remember on
We
ano,
were so poor during that time because we had so much
debt. Is
debt.
it?
Yeah, we couldn't pay for the
With so
amount
much
of
debt.
debt they were loaning out, like, and they were stealing it basically. And then people equate like infrastructure
Yeah,
to
infrastructure.
good governance, but in reality, it's not even a good indication of what the progress, because infrastructure, that's just like buildings. If it's not used properly, it's just shit. Look at the LRTs, MRTs. Like, yeah, fucking Marcos put that shit up, but look at it now. Is it working efficiently? It's not efficient. Have you taken an LRT ride? Are you fucking kidding me? Have you tried going there at 7 a.m., 4 p.m., going home from school, going home from work? It's not efficient.
It's not. It's not.
It's not a good project.
I I actually it's nice that they did like invest in these infrastructure projects and plans, but
But they
still it
had
doesn't like
20 plus
justify.
years, dude. 20 plus years of governance. They were in power for 20 fucking years. What, like,
Yeah,
that's the least they can fucking do. Is put up infrastructure. That's literally the bare
exactly.
minimum you can do. And not
It
to,
doesn't
like,
justify all their shit.
yeah, and like
Yeah,
the thing is, like projects like infrastructure is a big way for them to get kicked back. That's their biggest, like, from projects of like from infrastructure projects. That's where they steal the most.
exactly. Oh,
Cause
yeah,
like, okay,
that's the thing too.
we, like, we're both graduates of mechanical engineering, so we both know this at like, well, me, I know this like personally. The Bataan nuclear power plant
Okay, yeah,
was supposedly the first nuclear power plant in Southeast
in
Asia or
Southeast
something like
Asia.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but there was a technical paper. I forgot who wrote it. I'm gonna have to research it, maybe post it somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Um, there was a technical paper saying that the Bataan nuclear power plant cut so many corners that it was good that it wasn't operational. Because
Oh, really?
it would have been more trouble than good if it did go operational. Because of the amount of corners they cut.
That's insane actually.
Yeah.
I remember doing a bit of research na parang it cost the cost like kept increasing suddenly
Yeah.
to build it. Suddenly it every time um like was it a year pat that passes parang the cost became inflated up bigla.
Yeah.
So I really
It's
don't
all
know.
about
It would
that
have been
kickback, bro.
it would have been nice if we actually had that power plant.
God knows we
But
need it. Fuck, dude. Cause like the power struggle here in the Philippines is really bad. Like,
oh,
especially during
definitely.
summer season.
But yeah. Sige, actually, sige, let's move on actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. So again, that's our only political kind of power that we have, like aside from voting, rallying, and then it's being like hindered by the police and military. Now, speaking about the military, um, let's. I wonder if we can actually get into this topic properly, because I wanted to talk about the definition of terrorism. Can you do
Ooh,
that?
that's I'm not I just want to give you like a
Just a disclaimer.
disclaimer. Yeah, I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to this topic.
Okay.
So, you could say
We're
I'm
not gonna go
ignorant
deep. We're
about.
not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go
but like
deep naman.
like for whatever opinion I might have, just just know that I am ignorant about this topic. I'm not well read
Uh-huh.
regarding this. So
Right.
like, so yeah, you might find it based, but yeah, that's the disclaimer.
Yeah, okay. So like siguro a simple definition of terrorism is that when acts of mass like siguro violence and what do you call this happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or in a public place,
Yeah.
right? Like and some would argue that terrorism is just a what do you call this? A convenient term they can put on different kinds of acts of violence that are actually perpetrated by the state. It's like if it's like terrorism is like it happens when there's a state, parang ganun. And parang ganun. And what do you call this? Um,
Gotta get you. Yeah, go ahead.
it's like the word terrorism can be thrown around lightly by the government so that they can justify their militaristic actions in like especially different countries or different places in their own country. Like for example, the invasion of Afghanistan or even invasion of Iraq. So there's a lot of speculation that they did, and like the reasons why they invaded is because they wanted to combat terrorism. That's why that's the reason. Okay,
Why U.S.
the
invaded Iraq?
yeah, or why the U.S. invaded Afghanistan,
Oh,
and then
Afghanistan.
and then that there were like weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. That's why they had cause to go to war with Iraq also, even though there were multiple sources that there actually wasn't any, but they still went to war without
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
anyway,
they were looking for weapons of mass destruction, but they didn't actually find any.
they did not find any. Yeah. So it's like um even at home, there are, I mean, in our country, right? In the local country, like acts of terrorism are used to justify like the use of force, the use of militaristic action, and I think that's one way that the state tries to turn justice around to throw around these kinds of terms. There are even kinds of the terrorism that the state
Endorses.
implies or endorses, such as what's it political terrorism, when there's like communist presence in like
Yeah, yeah. The
in
Red
the state,
Scare.
the Red Scare, right?
Yeah.
So they justify that as like political terrorism, and then they use like force
Yep.
to deal with it. And this notion of terrorism, I think, only applies when there's a state. When there's a state and it, what do you call this, negatively affects their public standing, their social standing, their
It,
economic standing.
I
You know,
feel like it all boils down to if it's against someone's personal interest.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's when they imply or impose political terrorism. Because like,
Ex-
if you're not aligned with what their, you know, um, what their platform is, that's when they bring you down, basically. Something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, Actually, I did not prepare today because this was prepared like a month ago,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
My
forgot
bad, my bad.
the
Yeah,
talking
this is
points that I was supposed to bring
it's
up.
been it was been a month. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a month, so we're just catching up again. And um, but yeah, so that's like terrorism, and like the thought about it is that the state perpetuates this kind of definition where if it threatens like the interest, yeah, just like what Arnold said, or like what you said, that if it like threatens like the interests of the ruling class, the ruling elite, the upper class, then it will be labeled terrorism, even though if it's like a worker strike,
Yeah.
diba? Or if it's like a riot, a rally that went gone
This
wrong.
I think an example of this is the I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this. I think the Hacienda Luisita massacre. It was
What's this?
about farmers having like a rally.
Uh-huh.
Wait, and then like uh basically fucking cops opened up on the crowd, killing a lot of people.
Oh God,
This was under
yeah.
Cory Aquino's rule. So
Oh really?
yeah,
Oh, that's actually pretty.
yeah, which is why I fucking hate that fucking. You couldn't call it a regime, but that era as well, because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Hacienda
And
Luisita massacre.
it's not that it's not that I'm against or am I against um police enforcement, but it's just that it's just done
It
in a
it
wrong way, where it,
it's
it protects the interests of the
yeah,
ruling class.
it's done so poorly that like rich people can just use them as their personal lapdogs, basically. That's what
Yeah.
happened to Hacienda Luisita, because I believe the issue with that is that I think the Kuwankos
Uh-huh.
wanted to claim that area of land for themselves, but the
Oh,
farmers
okay.
wouldn't leave.
Oh God.
So that's when they got violent. I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
see.
why. So like
Yeah.
yeah, like that is the very example of fucking police brutality or like political terrorism.
Ayun. Oh, and then exactly. Oh, right, right. And then it came back to me now. What I was supposed to talk about this topic is that when the state or like let's take in for example like a coup d'état,
Coup
a coup
d'etat.
d'état
Okay.
that's supported by a different government,
Okay.
and which is I'm talking about the U.S. again.
Iraq.
Forgive me. No, no, not Iraq, but
Afghanistan.
no, a coup, not
Oh
an
wait.
invasion.
Okay, okay. Fuck. Is
There's
it
a lot.
Cuba?
Cuba, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Latin America,
Yeah.
a lot basically. It's like if there was a paper, there's like a list on how many coup d'états that
I saw that map.
the US backed.
Yeah, U.S.
It's
back
like
coup d'etats in the map. It's like big
uh,
one whole big
there's like
red area.
56, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's like one country, there's like 11 times
Oh
Nicaragua.
shit, dude! What
It's
the
like
fuck?
11 coups. There's even a recent Venezuelan coup d'etat that failed fantastically. It's like I think they sent like yeah, they tried to send their men by boat, and then they got caught by Venezuelan fishermen. And then they were interrogated, and then oh, they were found out to be actually from what do you call this, they're US soldiers.
What the
So
fuck,
Jesus Christ, it's like CIA right now is like the worst it's ever been.
dude?
And
Like
yes,
they're
it's usually backed by
fucking
the
they're
CIA.
yeah they're like Jesus, bro. Like
Yeah,
they're
and the thing, they
making so
wouldn't
many
call this,
mistakes, dude. Like
the
come on, what
US
happened,
wouldn't call
bro?
this, exactly, the US wouldn't call this terrorism
Yeah,
because
they wouldn't.
it's
It's
backed
government
by the
backed.
state.
Yeah,
It's
it's
government
government
backed,
backed. Yeah,
diba?
but
So
when you think when you look at it from like a local perspective, it is terrorism.
it is
It's like
terrorism
what the fuck
backed by yeah,
by an alien state. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Syria. I don't know
So
about Syria though.
Syria,
I think that was just the USSR being the USSR. Wasn't it?
the thing is with Syria, what did happen? USSR in Syria,
Aren't
or
they?
was it
Didn't they?
Afghanistan?
Didn't they invade Syria?
I know they invaded Afghanistan. Is it different?
I don't
Is
know,
this a different
dude.
invasion?
I don't know.
I think the what the USSR did, well, it's not still not acceptable.
They tried
Yeah, I
to
don't know with
annex
Syria.
Syria, diba?
Did they? I forgot now.
They
I don't know.
did, dude. They tried to
Really?
annex Syria. Yeah, from what I remember.
I'm not pro USSR. I think I'm glad that the USSR already
Dissolved.
dissolved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
they broke
USSR
up.
was a failed state.
Yeah. And I don't like superpowers in general because
Mm.
superpowers can swing their dick just however they can, just like the country up north.
Yeah. The big boy up there.
The big boy up there.
Big brother.
And then the US. Can
how
we
do
say
you
that?
how do you say I'm friendly in Chinese? I am sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
It's by Chongguo.
Bye
Chongguo.
Chongko.
By what's it in Japanese?
Watashi
Chugoku,
wa tomodachi
Chugoku
desu.
by Chugoku, right? And then
Chugoku,
it's
yeah.
these big superpowers that do all the invasions they want, all do all the what do you call that?
All the
I can't,
terrorism they want,
proxy
dude.
wars, proxy
Proxy
wars. Yeah,
wars, yeah.
they don't know. Don't call it terrorism. It's
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
Let's
know,
let's debunk terrorism.
it's not the. No, it is. It is though. It's all their coups, and they don't call it terrorism because it's backed by the state,
It's
and
backed by their personal
it's acts
interest.
of violence. It's acts of
Yeah.
violence
So by definition, it is
by
terrorism.
the state. Yeah. So the word terrorism is like a word that the state uses, right?
We're
So
gonna just watch. We're gonna get fucking blacklisted from American companies, from fucking
nah, dude.
Chinese
America.
companies,
If we
Russian
chop,
companies, dude. We're gonna get banned from their fucking countries, bro. Our social
fuck.
credit
Who
score is
cares? I
just
I I don't fucking all of them,
boom.
dude. I don't fucking care about all of them. Fuck them. But yeah, yeah. I never want to go to the states anymore. I've been there once. It was okay. Well, I've seen the good part. But yeah, now it's just gone to shit even in the pandemic,
It is.
especially in the
It is.
pandemic.
It is.
But yeah, so that's terrorism. And then I wanted to talk about after that, yeah, we let's talk about violence, okay? No, violence. Violence is a good instrument. No, it's a um I would never advocate for violence, especially as a martial artist, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
violence, okay, harming others is not exactly,
It's bad.
yeah, you never advocate for
Yeah,
violence,
you never want to hurt
right?
another person
Yeah, and
physically.
it's good that schools teach you this, especially your parents teach you this,
Yeah.
so that you know how to treat others correctly without the use of violence.
Yeah.
And then there's what we call systemic violence. Are you familiar
I
with that?
am familiar. Yeah, I
Structural
am
violence.
familiar. Yeah.
It's it's not violence in the term that what do you call this? It's not
It's not
violent. It's not
violence per
physical.
se. It's more
Oh,
of like
not per se.
it's like segregation.
Yes, it's systemic violence, structural violence. For example, yeah, segregation. For example, being evicted from your house because you can't pay rent, or because your landlord increased your
Yeah.
rent. Actually, it's for example, there are a lot of systemic. There are, fuck. I prepared this list before.
You got this.
um, basically perpetrated by the laws and regulations by the state, where you're not being fired from your job over a Zoom call. No, no, being fired from your job because because it was deemed fit for the company to do so. Like for
Yeah.
example, we're trying to scale down and
Yeah,
you're
cut
fired
cut
because
losses, yeah.
cut losses, something like that.
Cut costs and shit, yeah.
Yeah. So if your rights are being violated, right? That's like systemic violence already. When the state perpetuates this kind of systemic injustice, it violates your rights, like your right to work. Actually, I don't know
Yeah,
if
that
the
that's the thing,
government.
eh. Kasi you don't have a right to like to stay in a company. Because when you
Yeah,
sign your contract, it's between you and the company, so the state isn't involved. Basically,
working
it's a
for
private
companies is a scam already.
it's a private entity. You have to think about it that way. I mean, I'm not justifying
Exactly.
it. It still
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, that's
sucks.
it.
But the thing is, you're not being. It's not helping that the laws of the state doesn't help the working class. You should have
Y-
laws in place wherein that for you to get terminated, you need to have like say 3 months notice before you get
Oh,
terminated because that at
yeah.
least you can prepare.
Yeah, because you want to go job hunting.
Yeah,
And even though if there's like what do you call that?
and you have to transition.
Separation.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, you have to help then the company to transition from you leaving the country. You have to make sure everything's in
Oh,
order for the person who's gonna replace you. Everything's in order.
I forgot the term, but they have this like pay that there's like pay. What's
Separation
it, separation pay, right?
pay or
If
something.
you get
Yeah,
fired
something
from
like
the,
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's like money they provide you while you don't have a job because you get fired. But usually these things are pretty too short.
Yeah, it is. It
Too
yeah.
short. And job hunting,
Takes a
especially
long time.
today, is a
In
long arduous time. Yeah.
yeah, it's a long process, especially during the fucking pandemic. Especially now, it's December, Everyone's waiting for the 13th month pay. Nobody's fucking hiring. Nobody's leaving their
Yes,
jobs. So it's so
exactly.
hard for you, especially if you get terminated during the season. Dude, you're just fucked. You're just fucked.
Exactly. Right. And then the rights that you have are, I don't think they're being upheld
Yeah,
correctly in most of these states. I mean, I'm sure they do for the like upper class, but
yeah.
when it comes to like the lower more impoverished working class,
We
they're not being upheld
see.
um correctly.
This is what I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna bring it up again. This is the problem with contractualization. Cause you're only contractually like you're only hired for a certain amount of time. You don't get benefits. First of all, you don't get benefits. You have a fixed pay,
Hmm.
and there's no guarantee for longevity in that company if you're contractual.
Right.
So you're being um you're right to what do you call this? I don't exactly know what right is being stepped, but I'm pretty sure some right is being stepped on right there. Cause like
Yeah, some
you're not.
states, or sorry, not states, but yeah, some countries do not acknowledge some rights that humans actually need, like the right of having an education,
Yeah.
right to proper healthcare, right to having a job, right, because of for your own livelihood, the right to what do you call this? But yeah, these basic rights, these basic liberties are not being upheld
Yeah.
faithfully,
So yeah.
and that's what's like crippling our not just economy but also like the social communities.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's such a systemic problem wherein that um the lower class,
Yeah,
the poorer class is just regularly getting stepped on,
exactly.
and they can't do anything for
They can't. They can't.
all their like
Sense.
strength. They can't do anything about it because it's such a systemic problem until contractualization gets phased out, until becomes illegal. They're stuck with that because they don't necessarily have the skills or the education, the degree,
Capabilities.
yeah,
Yeah.
to get a better job. Because in the Philippines, dude, having a college degree is so fucking like,
It's a step up.
yeah, such a big step up in the Philippines. Because for skill based jobs, even if you do have the skills, the company won't even acknowledge you
Mhm.
unless you have a college degree, even if you're
Right.
well versed in that skill,
Yeah,
which is
exactly. having
stupid.
a having a degree really helps, but it doesn't actually guarantee your
Yeah,
career.
it's not a guarantee,
It's
but
not a
it's
guarantee.
a
That's the
major
thing.
boost in your like resume
Oh,
if you
yeah.
do have it. Which
And
is
also
kind
that's
of
what's fucked
stupid. Which is kind of fucking
it's
stupid.
fucked
It
up.
is. It's fucked up. Because if you got the skills for a job, then fuck it, dude. Go ahead, right? You should be sought after by these companies because you're well versed in
Yeah,
that skill. But then no,
yeah,
like they value degree more than skill in the Philippines, sadly, which is
they
fucked.
do. And I think they value cheap labor more.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why. Like the problem with contractualization is cheap labor. You just want someone to fill a role for a certain
exactly.
amount of time. You get it, and then they're done. You don't have.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee of. Oh well, don't worry. We'll get you after this. After 6 months, you'll be regulars. There's no guarantee of that, which is so fucking stupid,
Psych.
dude. Psych, boy, you're out of a job. Psych, you're fired. Fuck.
And I think I've said this before, but in a capitalist kind of economy, it
It's
it
necessary.
relies on uh an unemployed workforce. It's like a reserve
It is.
workforce
It
to
is.
keep the capitalist um system
To keep the
um
capitalist
to keep
machine
it going.
rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they what the capitalists want is like more profits, and the way to get more profits is one of them is to decrease wages. So
That
they're gonna try to decrease wages as much as they can and try to increase profits as much as they
yeah.
can.
It
And the way to do that is having an unemployed, one of the ways. It's having an unemployed reserve parang
Workforce, yeah.
workforce. Because they
And
can easily replace you if you
yeah,
ask for more. Nah.
they
Nah,
there's so
you're
many
gone,
more.
bro.
There's so many more who can do your fucking job. Get the fuck out of here.
There's so many more immigrants that can replace you, bro.
Yeah,
It's so
they
fucked.
it's so fucked in the in a way that because they made work, they made your job as a commodity.
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
basically supply and
Your labor
demand.
is a
Yeah,
commodity, becomes a commodity.
your work, your job is in such limited supply, but there's so much demand for that kind of work. I mean,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, there's
they
so much
created that
demand.
kind of artificial,
Yeah,
um,
scarcity. Like, oh,
yeah,
this skill is so important. We need people with this skill. But then once, the work for like once like the new generation started um studying this skill, for example, like let's give for example like let's say like a decade ago engineering wasn't a thing, right?
mhm,
Then technology started going becoming a thing.
the
Engineering,
demand for
yeah,
that
started becoming
skill.
in demand. So now a
Exactly.
lot of like the newer generations got into engineering. There's suddenly so many engineers in the world,
Yeah.
but there's only so much of jobs for
Well, yeah.
engineers. So like everyone's fighting for whatever they can. So like
Whatever job they
yeah,
can
whatever
land.
they can land. So like you can undercut the wages just like, and then people will still line up for that job because like there's so many of you fighting for that
Yeah,
job,
exactly.
which is
The
fucked.
wage that you're given isn't based on like the
Yeah,
actual work that you're
it's
gonna
not.
do. It's based on the market of other people,
Yeah,
and
it's the demand.
like
It's
the wage that
basically
you can give.
it's basically supply and demand. Again, it's
Yeah.
basically a commodity. Your job is a commodity when you look at it that way.
And a lot of people like to rely on the free market, as if the free market works, like it has its own magic where it's correct auto corrects itself, like does this because it will they rely on the free market really, but the free market can be easily manipulated
Manipulated
by, yeah, by
by
these
big
corporate
companies.
assholes
Yeah, because
and the
to be
government
honest
too.
with you, there is no free market
There is no,
because
it's
it's
like,
all
oh,
controlled by who has the biggest holdings in a
that is
certain
true.
market, right? It's okay. It's the same with like crypto. Crypto, I believe, in my opinion, is like the purest form of the free market.
No, go ahead.
Cause like it's easy to get into. You can just like buy a certain amount of crypto and like you have it. Yeah, right? And you sell whatever price.
Okay.
But then the problem
Yes.
lies within like the whales. What do you call whales? Cause like you can easily manipulate a market. For example, a coin. You can easily manipulate the price of a coin. If you have like say there's only 10 million coins.
Didn't Elon Musk do that?
Yeah, which is
He did a
very
lot.
scummy with
It
I think
is.
Doge. I don't
Is Dogecoin,
remember.
huh? I
I
don't
don't
know.
remember.
I remember
It
there's
was
news
one
about
of
that.
those coins wherein it's
He
like
cashed out, bro.
he hyped it so
He
much,
hyped it. Yeah,
but then he was the
exactly.
biggest holder of that coin. So when the price was set like to whatever he wanted na, he just sold all of
He
it and
just
then the
sold it.
price just like fucking straight went down, dude. Which is so scummy. Which is
I,
why it's so bad because like I said, it's very easily manipulated. Which is like which is the reason why people should advocate for what do you call it, this equal, not equal distribution, but um what do you call it, a more
equal. The thing is, a lot of people think that let's say socialism advocates for equality, right? Equality of outcome. When no, it's not. It's not about equality of outcome. That's not
it's
a thing.
yeah
That's not
it's
real. It's just that we advocate for equality of opportunity.
yeah, there's no
So,
specialization, no
yeah. As as long as this marginalized like a minority gets the same kinds of opportunity that a rich person, a white family does, then we have actually yeah, that's what we strive
yeah,
for. Equal opportunities.
yeah,
So yeah, there you go. But it's really hard when the economic political system like perpetuates this kind of systemic violence where it just tramples on the rights of marginalized people, the minority, immigrants, and like it also fucks up like the normal workers of
Yeah.
said of the same country. So again, it's it basically I'm just fucking I'm just like what do you call it, shitting on capitalism. And I don't know why people no well, there's a reason why people like capitalism, because it was a hit in the 70s 80s when during the Cold War. And
I feel
the thing
like,
is,
yeah, go ahead,
it's
sorry.
literally in the name. The term capitalism, it only serves for the capitalists. And not everyone's a capitalist. You're a capitalist if you have a capital, right?
Yeah,
But
if
if
you
you're
have the
just a worker,
means,
yeah, if you're the means of production, yeah, that's it. If you're the worker, you're not a capitalist. You're just working for these
you're
capitalists.
exploited.
You're the exploited,
Yeah,
right?
plain and simple. Yeah, you are being exploited if you are working for the cog in the machine in capitalism. You are being exploited in some other way. Not like
Exactly.
maybe you have big wages, but your work hours are fucked. That's usually the
Exactly.
trade-off. Like you get more, but you also work more.
There's
And what we
no
have to talk about like quality of life. Like, yeah, some people might enjoy that kind of thing, but like, what kind of life are you living if you're working like say 16 hours a day, right? That's
yeah.
that's not really life. You're not really
The thing
living.
they like about capitalism too is that kind of individualistic mindset where the capitalist promotes, where you just have to work hard enough. And like capitalism removes like the unproductive forces, the lazy kinds of workers, the bad workers, and then it incentivizes like the hard workers, right? That's the kind of
It's
mentality that they promote.
I don't
But that is not exactly the case,
I
because
feel like I don't agree with you incentivize.
yeah, they're not.
It's no, the thing is it's the same with laws in the Philippines. You don't incentivize, which is kind of fucked. They don't incentivize people doing better. They just
They don't
penalize people who aren't doing good.
doing worse. Yeah. And the thing
So
is,
that's
you can
just
find
fucked.
hard workers from anywhere, even from the impoverished. You think like the
Yeah.
basic farmer is not working hard,
Dude,
even though still
you can't
poor?
call them fucking lazy, bro. Like
You can't call them
they
lazy.
work so
Yeah.
early in the morning and they work until like late afternoon. So you can't fucking call them
Yeah.
lazy.
Exactly. It's just
It's just they're just systemic oppression, systemic violence. Yeah, like what you said.
you're gonna hear systemic problems a lot, because I think that's what we're mostly talking about, really.
Yeah, it is because to be honest with you, the system's just fucked.
The system's just fucked.
Yeah,
Um,
that's all it boils down to. The system's fucked, and there's no easy way of getting of fixing it. Basically,
yeah.
you have to change
Even
the system.
even democracy is kind of fucked because of the systemic problem, which is education,
Yeah,
where education isn't um free to the public. It's not
and
universal and free.
there's
And
even the issue
even
of
oh,
uh uh
the education system
what
isn't
do you call it?
correct, like good
Maleducation,
enough.
or is it maleducation or miseducation, something like that. Basically, you're teaching the wrong thing.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, so there's even that case. So like,
there
it's
is.
not like education
Even the state can
already.
also influence that the kind of
Yeah.
education that you have.
Oh,
That's like
there,
the
there,
red scare.
there already are like there. It's so fucked that the Philippine government, the DepEd, put into like modules for grade schoolers, I think,
Uh-huh.
and they portray farmers as this like poor beggar people. That when in reality, like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, you
Wait,
should
really?
be empowering our farmers.
We're an agricultural
Yeah, like
we're,
they degrade those kinds of people and just like, bro.
no, dude.
So
You
that's
have
why it's
to.
like it's like education, but it's also what's the fucking term? What's the term for wrong education?
Miss eh, uh, yeah, no, I get it.
Malpractice of like whatever. Dude. It's just you're teaching the
Yeah,
wrong thing. They're teaching the wrong thing. It's bad enough that you're not teaching enough people. You're teaching them the wrong things, pa. It's like, bro, pick a
yeah,
struggle,
exactly.
dude.
Like this kind of economic system, it doesn't value what the country needs, but it only values
The
what
personal
kind
interests nga of
what kind of business is profitable.
yeah.
Yeah, their interests. So if this kind of thing is ano, is popular in the market right now, they're gonna set up lots of businesses for that.
Yeah.
But the country is struggling with its agricultural sector. It's like industrial sector. They're not gonna mind with that because this other business is booming right now, and we're gonna invest there instead of the
It's
foundations of
it's
the industrial and agricultural sector of the country.
they're more concerned about the short term than with the long
Yeah,
term.
they
Because if
are.
you invest in agriculture, we'd be a lot more rich,
We'd
to
be
be
a lot more
honest. Because
prosperous.
imagine we're an agricultural country, but we're the biggest importer of rice.
Rice. Yeah.
Like how we were we had the bleeding we were the leading fucking
Y-
edge of like
We were like
rice.
cutting edge. Yeah.
Yeah, we were the country to look to when it comes to rice, and now we're importing rice. Like, bro, imagine if you invest in agriculture. You invest in our farmers. Not only can you be self-sustaining when it comes to food, because food is a huge market. Everyone eats food.
Yeah.
So like if you
Right.
can be self-sustaining in that aspect, you're already doing your economy a big favor. Cuz you don't have to import. You
Exactly.
don't have to pay for fucking logistics. You just have to
Yeah.
buy
A
locally,
shipment
source
delivery.
locally. Yeah. So like if you can be self-sustaining, what more if you can export, right? It's so dumb that we're not capitalizing on the fact that we're an agricultural country. We're so big in capitalism. We're not capitalizing into fucking agriculture. It's so dumb. I'm
Yeah.
dumbfounded.
We also I was supposed to say, but yeah, that's completely true. Um, it kind of needs to have like this kind of central kind of economic planning committee so that all the sectors of the all industries will have like um would be invested in more. The
Mm-hmm.
important like industries are invested in more, like agriculture, like heavy industry, the likes like that. What was I supposed to say? I had something one more thing to say. That's only
Go ahead.
fuck. Oh wait, let me think about it again. What were you talking about agriculture sector?
We're talking about
Yeah,
farmers.
it's weird na a lot of people don't see value in farming, the
Yeah.
agricultural sector, because they want to get into like the tech
Industrialized.
industrialized, yeah. And I don't know if we can just skip these foundations that because like if you want to build a superpower, it needs to go through. I think it has to go through like certain steps, right? But for developing nations, some of them just skip to to the next step and not doing it properly because the following steps weren't like
Yeah.
done correctly.
Their foundations aren't properly
Yeah,
laid,
the
and they're
foundation.
basically there's a saying for that.
What's that supposed to be?
A temple built on sand or on salt, something like that. Wherein
Oh,
the foundations
exactly.
aren't built properly. So when like an economic a big dip in economy, you'll see the people suffer. Like a Great Depression happened. There's not enough
Oh
food to
yeah,
go
yun,
around.
there we go. Thank you for mentioning that. That's what I was supposed to say. The in capitalism, there's this. I think this is well researched upon already. There's this boom and bust cycle that is normal for a capitalist
Capitalist state,
economy.
yeah.
Yeah, they think that like the things like the Great Depression, like
It's all necessary.
economic crises, they think that it's because of I know what you call
It's part
this.
of the cycle.
It is part of the cycle. They think that it's just there's this few circumstances that happened. That's why it led to these kind of economic crisis. But no, it's a what do you call this? It's an economic cycle
Mm-hmm.
of the boom and bust because in the first place it's perpetuated by like maybe either the banks or the corporations investing into one. So I'm not a
An economist.
economist, right? Yeah. And then it's like there was an opening in the market where they had to invest in this because it's like it's very short-sighted. The
Yeah.
short-sightedness, yeah, there you go. The short-sightedness of capitalism, where they basically like value profits over anything else,
Yeah.
is the problem why there are these kinds of economic crisis. So when they capitalize that short-sighted profit, every time they're gonna be ignoring like the long-term consequences, which comes in the form of an economic crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot give an example right now because I'm not an economist, or I don't study like the history, but capitalism is fuck, I sound so base right now.
No, it's
Okay.
okay. Good.
But capitalism is never gonna be prepared for any kind of crisis. Like let's say for example the pandemic,
Yeah, as
or
we
even
saw.
as we witness as we witness with our very eyes,
Yeah,
right? But I wonder if any other kind of I wonder if any other kind of economic kind of system would be able to
that's
do it.
that's the
But
thing.
yeah,
Cause like again, from like what I mentioned earlier is that if you are a self-sustaining state, right, you
yeah,
can be prepared for these kinds of scenarios. Cause like look at I'm
you
not
can be
entirely
prepared. Yeah,
sure. I'm
you're
not
right.
entirely sure, but Vietnam didn't get
Mm-hmm.
hit as hard
Yeah.
when COVID happened because they don't really import a lot of things. If they do,
You
it's mostly raw
oh.
materials for their industrial sector. But then for like their agricultural sector, they're fine. Like they can sustain themselves. So like nobody goes hungry, nobody,
Mm-hmm.
starves
Yeah.
when shit like this happens cuz like they are self-sustaining in that sense. I think
Mm-hmm.
also
One country I'd like to mention that I don't know the reason why. I didn't research upon it, but Cuba handled the crisis very well.
really
They're even sending their doctors to the states, to the US, to help like patients, and they weren't even asking for any kind of pay.
really
Yeah. So it's what's impressive about Cuba. Um I'm not pro Cuba or anything, but I think how the way that they're governing, the way that they are doing things
they're
in their
doing
country,
something right
they're
for
doing
sure.
something right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing something
They're
right.
doing something right there.
Now you see an economic powerhouse like the US. Suddenly,
They
why are they
crumbled,
struggling?
dude. They
They're
fucking
crumbling.
they
Exactly.
crumbled when
They're
COVID hit,
struggling.
dude.
Yeah.
They
And you
were
think to
really not
yourself,
prepared.
why?
They were really not
Why?
prepared.
They're
You
treating
see,
all the people like shit. Like there's like I remember one scene now. They're holding all the quarantine patients outside the parking lot of a
yeah.
hotel that's not being used by anyone. The hotel's not being used because I think COVID it they had to close down. But why do they have to wait like outside the parking lot of
Why
the
can't they just
hotel
use the
if it's not being
hotel?
used? And
Yeah.
why can't they just use the hotel? I think, and they said, "Oh no, because we still have to clean the hotel, and it takes a lot of time and manpower." Dude,
Just fucking do
there
it,
are
dude.
there are people that don't have a job and that can be their job, fucking cleaning the hotel.
Yeah,
So you kind of like hit the job problem, and you're saving people's lives too.
that's true.
It's just they don't want to pay their workers because it's not profitable. It's
Yeah.
not profitable to save lives.
It really isn't.
It's fucked.
It
It's
really
fucked.
isn't. Unless you are gonna be put back into like unless you're like a super what do you call this? Like a gear, a necessary gear in the machine, then fuck
Unnecessary
yeah.
gear, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
you'll be
the
saved.
capitalist, the ruling class, the upper
But if
class.
you just like a base fucking worker, you can
No one cares about
kiss it
you, dude.
goodbye, dude. It's just like nobody cares about you
Exactly.
there.
Exactly.
It's
But
really
yeah,
fucked.
so yeah, so I think we haven't mentioned the word justice, but it all ties into that.
It
It all ties into that.
because like
Do you think the
justice
people
isn't
are getting like
what they
what they just
deserve.
deserve?
Yeah,
Yeah?
they're not
No.
getting what
Their
they
rights are
deserve.
being violated.
Uh huh.
They don't care about their rights. They only care about the ruling class.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So like,
Violence, terrorism, the law, state, revenge.
what do you do when the state itself is the one who's doing you injustice?
Yeah. That's why it's already a miracle that we had like the people power. So it's so that people know that we can do that.
It's a beacon of hope that
It is.
shit like that can happen in the real world, and it honestly gives me hope that there might be a better future for us, because like people can still band together for the greater good.
Yeah. And
And
I
I
think
just
I
like to
oh
mention, like, with because that's what's happening to Myanmar right now. They're being they had a coup, right? So like they're under
oh
military
Myanmar.
rule. Yeah,
Oh nga.
Myanmar. So like,
Oh.
yeah, like,
I thought you said
it's
me and Mar. I was like,
no,
who's Mar?
it's
Myanmar.
fucked.
Okay.
It's fucked right now in Myanmar. It's fucked.
It
And
is. It
like,
is.
I hope something revolutionary happens there, because
Yeah.
it really is getting bad.
I don't know if you remember because I said this during the what do you call this? What episode was that when we talked about like the purpose of life?
I think that was last
And
episode, wasn't it?
no, it
No,
was the
that
last
was
episode. That was my topic. Eh.
that was
So I think two
2 episodes
podcasts,
ago.
two oh yeah, two podcast,
So
two
basically
episodes
just
ago.
one one
Yeah,
cycle, yeah.
one cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
said like a lot of people are being doomers, becoming doomers because of like the systemic problems that we have, systemic um violence that happens in the state. And I think one way to look into life is how what I said, what I call revolutionary. I didn't call this revolutionary optimism, that
Mm,
you can like apply to your life so that you're not a doomer always where you just it's over, we can't do anything because
yeah.
it's a systemic problem. No, 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 don't think like that. Do not think like that, because we, the people, have power
Yeah.
to change if we band together, if we get organized, if we unionize, you know, if we, yeah,
You said the U
basically like
word,
that.
oh no.
Oh God.
Your
Oh yeah.
social credit score.
Did you know that one Starbucks in the US finally got the unionized? It's like the first union ever in a Starbucks company. Starbucks,
Really?
yeah, branch.
That's
So it's
great for
pretty
them,
impressive.
dude. Yeah, it is.
A small thing like that.
It's a
It's
sign
it's
that
pretty
things are
historic.
changing.
It's pretty historic in the terms in what Bernie Sanders said. So yeah,
Yeah, I wish we
I hope
I wish we
there's
had
like
our
people
own Bernie
yeah.
Sanders in the Philippines.
uh, Is Lenny? I don't know.
Lenny, no.
No,
There's
not
one
to that extent.
presidential candidate. Um, I think he can beat the Bernie Sanders, but he doesn't stand a chance. Eh.
Who?
Kaliodi.
I don't even know.
Yeah, he's
Who is
an
that guy?
independent candidate for presidency.
Oh God,
So
okay. Yeah.
yeah, but he did say that if Lenny does like make his platform part of hers, he will gladly step down.
Oh, I see, I see.
Which
Actually,
I hope she
there's
does.
yeah. All right. Actually, there's one topic that I forgot to talk upon, but I think this can be a later a different episode now. And the thing is, kasi how do you fight systemic violence? I wanted to talk about like if we're for if we're gonna change, like is this a what do you call this, a social or no economic system or a political system. It's like how are we gonna do it? Is it gonna be through reform or revolution? I wanted to talk about this, but I think we have the
Yeah,
time
yeah, yeah. We
already.
don't have the
But
time
yeah,
for that. Yeah.
actually one podcast that I've been listening to discusses this topic very well. That if you guys I've told you already about the podcast, right? The program,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
the
yeah.
program.
Yeah, yeah.
There, it's a bunch of three socialists. An American, a Slav, and then an Arab
An Arab, yeah.
talking about yeah. But yeah, try to check them out if you're interested in more stuff like
And
that,
more political
more political stuff.
yeah.
Is it okay to say the S word,
What's
the
the
socialist word?
socialist word? Yeah.
It is-
I mean, we
but
don't
yeah,
have Zep today, so we can be as political as we
yeah.
want to
Actually,
be. I'm kind of
not that I'm
glad.
thankful.
Yeah, yeah,
Not that
yeah.
I
I'm
don't want to say thankful.
not-
I don't want to say thankful, but I am thankful.
I
No,
don't
no,
I don't
no.
I don't want to undermine Zep, but like
You know,
I
Zep's not
am
gonna
kind of
watch this. I swear he's not gonna
yeah.
watch this.
I am kind of glad that Zep wasn't around for us
He
today,
ain't gonna
cause
watch
like
this. So yeah,
he wouldn't want to
we're
talk about
unhinged now. We're
yeah we
unhinged.
wouldn't he wouldn't want to talk about things like this on this podcast. He'd want this to be
Yeah. He
um
says
as
he doesn't like
general
to.
as he think
Oh,
as it can be. He
he
doesn't
says
want
he
to talk
doesn't
about
want to talk
political
about
views,
politics.
yeah,
Yeah,
which
and
I
for
understand,
me,
But
Oh,
I have the platform, might as well talk about it. Cause like
yeah.
you can help in like what Alex said, like through these small things we can help solve systemic problems like
Unionizing.
yeah, because like we bring these topics into light, right? It brings it into to the um to the stage where it can be talked about, it can be brought into like a conversation, and that's what we
Right.
want to start a conversation. So like if Zeb doesn't want to talk about politics, fine, we'll just do it without him. So like
Yeah.
yeah, we can go back naman to like general topics, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've been wanting to talk about this for quite a while then, because like
Okay. That's then that's for you.
it's such a, I'm just mad
The
because
the
like
thing is,
there's so many people going around lately that like like everyone's entitled to their own opinion
hmm,
even if they're wrong.
yeah. The
And
thing is,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, yeah,
Go
sige.
ahead, go ahead.
I mean, one last thing I wanted to say talaga na, and you guys can are free to disagree with what I'm gonna say right now, but I think everyone should be getting into politics
Yeah,
because everybody should be a member, a participating member in society, and if ever you are, and especially you are not gonna avoid politics because politics it decides like the flow and how a community like organizes and runs. So you need to really you need to be politically, what do you call this,
active.
in the know how, in the know,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Because if you want to, because if you want to be participating in a country, in a society, and you're gonna decide who's gonna be the next president, then you're deciding the fate of this whole country.
Yeah,
And
for
if
the
you are
next
not
how many
politically like,
years?
if you're not into politics, you're gonna be fucking up the country.
Yeah.
You're like the pest of a country. I don't care. Like there are people, I don't care about politics. It's not my thing. I don't want to talk about it, and that's fine, I guess, but not really.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
I don't. You can disagree, but not really. In my opinion, everyone needs to be into politics, especially if you are gonna participate in society,
Yeah,
and
for
which
sure.
everyone should be. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah.
And so yeah, going back to what you're gonna say. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that politics is such a huge part of our lives that,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, politics, your personal politics dictate what kind of person you are. So like,
Yeah.
it's never too late. It's never too late to educate yourselves. Even I educate myself whenever like like whenever I am aware that I am ignorant when with some topics, with some conversations, and I try to educate myself just to make sure that I don't say
Yeah.
something bad, I don't say something
Yeah. Me too.
insensitive. So it is never too late to educate yourselves. It's like in the age of, I think I mentioned this before already. Like, in my opinion, in today's age of technology, everything, like all the information you want is at the tip of your fingerprints. Literally, everything is one Google search away.
Yeah. Well, it's a
Like,
double-edged sword
yeah, it
because
is.
there's
So like,
misinfo. But
being misinformed in today's age is, in my opinion, a crime already, because like you're either just too lazy to do a quick Google search and fact check, or you actually advocate for something that's evil.
I'd say that being misinformed is step to learning,
Yeah.
but you should never stop learning because that when you stop learning, that's when you like stay in that kind of misinformed state where you don't want to be, right?
Yep.
So yeah. So yeah, me too. Like what you said, I'm trying to get into Philippine politics too because I'm not well versed also, but yeah, I really want to try my best, to stay politically like educated,
Mm-hmm.
to 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 know about the know-hows and what's in, like, who's gonna run our country, right?
Yeah.
That's such a big thing.
And again, our few rights, few powers we have as the people of this country is, one of them is to vote. So again, um educate yourselves, align with whatever candidate you want that aligns with your personal like whatever platforms you agree with. Align with yourself with that candidate, but again, do not treat it as like a reality show. Politics is not
Yeah.
a reality show. You are
God
dealing
damn.
with lives here. Your vote can save lives. Literally can save lives. So
Again.
educate yourselves, vote wisely, and if you're not yet registered, I'm sure I think they extended the registration for voting. I'm not too sure.
So now,
I don't know. That's why
I think it's
it,
I
is it
don't know.
over?
I don't know. I think
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
If you haven't registered, then whatever. Good luck. But make sure to vote next time. But yeah, if
It's it's so dumb that the voting registration is such a hassle, and it's such
yeah,
yeah, it's
dude,
over now, diba?
they
It's
make
such a
it so
hassle.
hard
They
for
make it
you
so
to
hard.
get your voter's ID, which is so dumb. Well, again, it's not surprising,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's like you're only right, and then they make it too hard for you to vote.
yeah.
God damn. So what else do you? What
It's just
other kind of political power that you have?
that's an example of systemic, systemic violence, systemic oppression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is.
So yeah,
But
make sure to vote and vote
yeah,
wisely. Don't just fucking vote. Vote wisely. Yeah.
yeah. So I think we
Anything
can end the
else?
podcast here.
Okay.
Actually, fuck. You know, I wanted to talk about so much things like the Kyle Rittenhouse case. That's a one. I want to talk about that because it's in line with like the law, police, military, and systemic and violence. And now this is a guy who's like free and celebrated for killing two people and injuring one
Oh fuck.
in the country.
Yeah,
And there's like podcasts with
I
him.
think I watched that one. I think you sent me that one. Yeah, that's fucked.
No, I'm not gonna make fun. I'm not gonna make fun. Okay, but yeah, so we can talk about this another
Damn,
time.
dude, I
And it
wish I
was
had my AR.
they don't count us as evidence. They don't say, "Oh, that's not valid evidence." That
Yeah,
dude,
that's
fuck.
fucked. That's fucked.
So
But yeah,
yeah. Anyway,
if you could,
that's been the episode where we talked about justice and other facets like revenge, the state, law, police and military, terrorism, and systemic violence. And know your rights. Know your rights, and you should fight for these kinds of systemic injustices by banding together, doing
mm-hmm.
small things like unionizing, joining orgs and stuff. But yeah, that's been it. Any last words? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
If you have anything to plug, you're
Oh yeah. If I may,
yeah,
thank you
go
very
ahead, go
much.
ahead.
No, no. I have a podcast together with three other people. It's called the Unarmed Podcast, where we talk about um stuff related to karate because I am a karateka. I practice karate and other kinds of martial arts and stuff related to karateka at karate. And we had our latest episode was about what do you call this? What the difference between martial arts and combat sports, effectiveness of karate and MMA, and other kinds of stuff related to karate and martial arts. So if you're into that stuff,
Oh yeah, you can.
check
Can you
out.
link it in the chat?
Actually, yeah, you're right. Actually, um, so
So yeah, make sure to
uh,
check out the Unarmed Podcast. It's on Facebook.
I don't know. It's the right link. Yeah.
Oh, is that
So
the
yeah,
YouTube?
that's just
Yeah.
the
Oh,
link
the
to the
VODs.
channel.
Do you stream it on YouTube as well?
We started streaming on YouTube now because we ran into some problems with streaming on Facebook. So
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
we're streaming on YouTube now, and yeah, check that out if you guys are interested in
Oh, that's why I
in
didn't
that kind
see
of
it
stuff.
last time.
Oh, you're waiting for
That's
it on
why.
Facebook?
Yeah, I always
No,
wait
no,
for it
no.
on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we stream on YouTube now. We mentioned it in the podcast. You weren't listening.
Oh, I
No,
didn't.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Just joking.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, that's me. Thanks for listening in, guys, and yeah, um, do we end now? How do
Yeah.
we end?
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you guys
sorry.
for watching. The VOD of this will go out tomorrow. Tomorrow on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed to that YouTube channel, hit that bell notification to make sure you're updated whenever a new episode comes out and you didn't catch it live. also for other wacky stuff that I upload on YouTube. So yeah, it's gonna go on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching.
Yep. Thank you very much.
We This has been Pancit Canton podcast. Sorry, it's been a month since the last time. I really wasn't in the proper headspace to be doing podcasts. So like I'm back. We're back, baby.
We're back.
We're
We
back.
should have done this at the start.
Yeah, that's true. We're
We're
back,
back. We're
and
excited. All
we're signing off. All right. Thank you
right.
guys for
Yeah,
watching.
that's it.
Bye. Peace, yo. Good night.
Peace.